Hi, how's it going? Today I'm gonna answer a question I received on yesterday's live on Instagram, asking me about the different harmonic progressions in the different Brazilian styles, and people often study the improvise with harmonic cliches. I always recommend you to study playing the songs, the Brazilian songs. It's better than just progression, but knowing the progressions is interesting to recognize them when they happen in the different styles. So I'm gonna talk about them. I'm sorry I don't remember your name that asked me this question, but thank you for the question. And let's talk a little about that. I would like to start with a progression that is common in Samba. I'm gonna make in G major. I have the G major, E7, that is the dominant of the second grade, A minor 7, D7, and G again. And there are some variations of this progression. Let me talk in terms of chords. G, E7, A minor, E6, D7, and G major, and a preparation to return D7 again. There is some variations. For example, I have the G major, E7. Besides A minor, we can use A7 and D7 again. One more time. One interesting thing about this progression is that I've heard a lot of different people playing, different groups playing both progressions in the same song, the same part of the same song. It's very common to find this if the melody doesn't appear on the third. So always be careful when you are playing in a group, because sometimes this note can change, this major and minor third. There is also one reharmonization of this progression, very common too, that we, besides playing the E7, we play the diminished chord that is inside the E7. So it's G sharp diminished, A minor, with A7. There's different variations of this progression, and it's very common in Samba. All right, pay attention in that difference. It's good if you play some harmonic instrument, play to increase your awareness of this difference. All right. So for samba, I think it's that. You also gonna find this in Frevo, I think. There is one different characteristic that happens in Frevo, that the dominance commonly has the flat ninth, so it would sound a little different of samba. Like this is a version adapted to the language of Frevo. Another cliche progression that happens on Frevo is the same progression we can find in the Autumn Leaves song. In minor Frevos, you're gonna find this. Sorry. Preparation to the repeat. We end in G minor and put this G7 flat 9 and return. There are some situations where you won't find this progression, but you're gonna find a similar progression, a progression with when you can look at it and realize the similarity with this progression. Sometimes we can reharmonize a lot of situations in Frevo with this progression. I'm telling about minor Frevos, alright? And most Frevos are in minor tonalities. That's why I think that it's easy and common to put this flat 9 dominance. Alright? If you didn't understand this comment, just write for me that I'm gonna explain a little more about it. I forgot some progression that we play on samba. That is a very common progression. People that are jazz players is gonna recognize this progression when they are playing the Night and Day. Very common. And there are some possibilities, different possibilities to one of the chords here, but it's the fourth grade, sharp fourth grade on the half diminished. After that, the fourth minor grade. We have the third minor 7th grade, a diminished chord with the minor third, 2, 5, 9. Let me say in terms of chords. If we are in D major, it's a G, half diminished. G minor, it's G minor 6, F sharp minor 7, F diminished, I'm using the major 7 here, E minor 7, A7, and G and D major. So some common variations. G half diminished, G minor 6. Besides doing F sharp minor 7, you can use also D major 7 with F sharp on bass. It's a very Brazilian chord. In Brazilian music, in most of the styles we use inversions to reharmonize. So it can be we can use the substitute, dominant substitute. Here we can A7, we use E flat 7, this chord. Another reharmonization that happens here. Can use F sharp minor and F minor. It's more strong, this progression, because it goes out of the tonality. This progression. Another thing that happens a lot in samba that I remind, it's the when we don't change the chord, we are in a major chord. We change through the 6 and 7s, between the 6 and 7. You're gonna find this progression in the song Madalena, for example. And there are some older sambas that uses a lot this progression also. This, if you know the song that's known as Brazil, here in Brazil we called Aquarela do Brasil, Brazil's watercolor. but it's commonly known as Brazil just. This progression is very common. The major chord with the flat sharp fifth, and the sixth chord. All right. So I told about 3 progressions in samba, all right? That circle. About this, this is you can find in the song La Pinha of Baden Powell, and I forgot the name. There is one very interesting that has an introduction here. I forgot the name now, and this other progression. You can find this in Brazil song. There is a song of João Bosco that's called O Bêbado e a Equilibrista. If you wanna see these names written, it's just ask on the comments, alright? I know that for you that are from out of Brazil, it's difficult to search for this because a lot of you don't know Portuguese, and yes, the language that we talk in Brazil is Portuguese, and it's not Brazilian. It's a little different from Portugal, but the pronounce is different. There are some terms they talk differently, but we can understand each other. All right. Nice. Let's say about Bossa Nova. Let's talk about Bossa Nova progression. And I've shown this progression. I've shown in other moments. I'm gonna show this same progression of samba. Be done in Bossa Nova, because Bossa Nova has richer harmonies. Another thing, but I'm gonna talk later about it. All right. All right. I'm sorry, I forgot the progression here. For example, this is a little more complicated. I'm gonna show you more simple harmonies, alright? But besides using the E7, I used F minor 7, A7, G7, G7 sus, and besides G7, like I would do in Samba, I like to do the sus flat 9 chord. Look how beautiful it is. There is some options that happens in Bossa Nova with the sus chord. Note besides doing like Samba and a lot of international styles that use the sus chord, in Bossa Nova you use, for example, and that is one interesting way that when we can use to do the resolution of the fourth. The fourth goes to the augmented form, the sharp form. Alright? I would like to show you. Let's talk about more common progressions. This is a little difficult. This you're gonna find in a lot of songs of Tom Jobim and other Bossa Nova composers. Right, this is a circle of dominant chords that has some movement between the 13th and the 9th of each chord. Look, I'm in A7, 13th, flat 13th. Now I went to D7 with the 9th, flat 9th, and I can continue creating some circle of G7, 13th, G7, flat 13th, C7, 9, flat 9, and we can continue for the whole life. Common in Bossa Nova, alright? And we have some preparation or turnaround progressions that are interesting that happens we can use to create the turnarounds. Major 7 and half a tone upper. There are some versions of The Girl from Ipanema. I'm sure you're gonna find this. And that is a song also called Só Tinha de Ser Com Você. It's recorded on the album Elise e Tom, that has used this progression a lot also. I've shown you just in this part three of these progressions I've told you. Look again. Now half a tone. This progression, it's the fourth, the progression I told you in Samba. Half diminished, minor fourth, and we arrived on the circle of these dominant chords. And ends. Alright, this is you find a lot of progressions. I also like to there are some vamps I like to do sometimes. I'm in a major 7 chord and go to the major 7 chord 1 tone below. So these are common progressions in Bossa Nova. There are some reharmonizations that I've already told you in the lives. For example, we can use some inversions. I'm gonna do the 2/5 of D major. So A minor 7, G7, D7, and G major. Alright? I can use this A minor with E on bass, C minor with E flat on bass, and G major with D on bass. Besides doing that, I would do that. And besides using the E7 to return to the progression, I can use the F minor 6. Here the difference between them. If I would do in Samba, in Bossa Nova. There is an interesting version of that progression that happens in Samba. I'm gonna show you the progression in Samba again. I'm doing C now. In Bossa Nova. This voice, we have the F sharp half diminished with the third on the melody, and F minor 6 or 7 with the 14th on the melody. Look how beautiful it is. And we can use a diminished chord but with a major 7. dominant substitute dominant, but we put the 9th and the sharp 11th in the progression. It will gonna sound very rich. I've told about progressions in Samba, Bossa Nova. Let me talk about a little about the Northeast language. That is one thing that you find in a lot of major songs. It's the first chord, the one with the minor 7. With the 7th, like in blues. Example. This motion to the 4th grade is very common in Baião, alright? This is the song O Ovo of the composer Hermeto Pascoal. This commonly happens in major baião, the major forró or baião, or the similar styles. In baião we often find sometimes we find the progression or the sounds of capoeira. I recommend you to hear the song Domingo no Parque. It's from Gilberto Gil. The song is based in a lot of tonalities of this progression that we find in capoeira. Another progression that's commonly happens in Baião is the 2-5 progression, but it's not the common 2-5 progression of 2-5-1. It's used in another context. For example, my song is the song is on G minor, and it's common to use the progression between G minor and C7. Bayon's progression. And for example, this Bayon wouldn't be in another tonality. I won't resolve this progression in F major or F minor. No, I am using this like this minor chord like the first grade. Right? This is a very common progression in the Bayon language. Let me talk also about Afrosamba. Afrosamba, it's a accent, Brazilian accent created by the composer Baden-Powell, and this Afrosamba have one characteristic, that it's having the first part as a modal part. So it's common to use the Dorian mode to express the first part of some Afrosambas. I'm using now D minor 7 and 9th, and A minor. This is very common. So this is the progression that happens when I was playing in one or another live. This is the Canto de Xangô, also by Baden-Powell. You're gonna find this progression. It's this Dorian progression is very common in the Afrosambas. What else? What else do we have? I've told the progression of autumn leaves is commonly used in the Maracatus and in the Frevo, and in Maracatu is the same thing. All right, Maracatu doesn't have any harmonic instrument. When you play the Maracatu, the most popular, that's called Maracatu do baque virado. It doesn't use any harmonic instrument, but we can recognize the progressions. And in minor Maracatus, it's the same thing like I've told you. Generally, this is the second part because it starts on the 1 and the 5th. This is the common harmony of minor maracatus. And in major, it's common to use progressions between the 1 and the 5th grade. To create the second part, often we can change the relation of dominant 1 and dominant, and after we do the opposite movement, dominant and 1. Simple harmonies has this solution to change their intention. For example, I like this example. Inverts the relation, so it's 1 and 5th, and the second part changes to 5th and 1. This is very common in the harmony, the intention of harmony of maracatus. Like I said, you won't have the progression being played, but if you search for the chords, you're gonna often find this progression. So I think this subject, it's important to you recognize when you are playing the language of the style. When we are starting to play some style, we don't recognize what it's different and what's common to that style. So the progressions are I would say that the harmonic accent of each style. So I hope you have enjoyed and learned more about Brazilian music. I hope this helps in your process of understanding this subject that I like so much. That's the harmony of Brazilian music. And if you had some doubts or you thought some part I talk briefly and you want to see more details, just write in the comments, alright? I'll be happy to help you, and I'm here to talk about Brazilian music in all levels, and to end with your doubts, alright? Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow and every day for more lives and quick tips about the Brazilian accent improvisation. I am Luciano Ruas, a Brazilian musician from the city of São Paulo, and I'm happy to do this project with you. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.